Hello, everybody. So, today we're going to talk about accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So, we're going to be diving into AMD, and then with this, we also study the variable X. That means if we have AMD, that means accumulation, manipulation, dash distribution. Let's write it down. So, accumulation is also known as consolidation. Manipulation is simply a fake out, and then distribution can be called as expansion. All right, so you can take a screenshot of this, and then now what is X here, right? It can be A, M, or D. All right, so anything can be repeated. All right, so if you have a price that is just going up and down and up and down, that means you have accumulation going on. Okay, this is accumulation, and then any side, maybe this side, or sometime and then you will see Persian this side. So this is again accumulation. So accumulation, and this little part that went a little bit above, okay, this portion, what we call this, we call this a manipulation. All right, so here this is manipulation, and then what is distribution? This. Okay, for this, this. So after manipulation, you can expect price to distribute. So here is two sides. This is accumulation, manipulation to the buy side, and then distribute to the sell side. So this is accumulation, now manipulation to the sell side, distribution to the buy side. All right, so this is called AMD. AMD. Now X is after this portion. So if price starts accumulation again, then this is your X, and now you're going to start the whole process again. So if this is A, the X is A, that means now what's going to come? Again, you will see a manipulation, maybe this side or maybe this side. Okay, same goes to here. Now this portion is distribute. Now after distribution, what can happen? Either manipulation, that will be like this, and then again distributes, and then consolidates. That means accumulate. Okay, so here this is a manipulation, and then you saw a distribution. Okay, so after accumulation on this one, this is manipulation. If this is the manipulation to the sell side, you will see a distribution to the buy side. Okay, and then again maybe accumulation, or then manipulation, and then again distribution. Okay, so it will repeat the simple process, so you can just visualize these things for now, and then we'll go through the charts. You will see some examples and then my plan is to help you connect accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and breaker, mitigation, low resistance liquidity run, high resistance liquidity run. So from the previous video, you might have seen me talking on this to confirm a market structure shift. So we are connecting the accumulation, manipulation, distribution with the breaker, mitigation, low resistance liquidity run, high resistance liquidity run to confirm a market structure shift. All right. So let's get to the chart. Now, anywhere. Let's go. Maybe. Let's go here. All right. As you see, this whole portion is what? A phase of accumulation or consolidation. So what do you expect? Either take a buy side or take a sell side. What do you see here? Taking a sell side. That means manipulation is right here. And then what do you expect? To price do a distribution, correct? So if this is accumulation, this is manipulation, this is distribution, how can we connect breaker? Remember what is breaker? If you guys have not seen my previous video, please go ahead and watch episode part 1, part 2 of what is my market structure shift, and part 2 is market structure shift using breaker, mitigation, LR, HRLR. All right, so here, look at here, we're gonna explain this one through this one. So as you see, the previous low has been taken. So when that happens, what does that mean? You have a breaker over here, correct? So now this is your breaker. All right, so now you have a breaker here. If this creates a breaker, we talked in a previous video, the market share shift will be very high probability, right? So whatever shift that you will see here through the body, that will confirm this breaker as a valid breakout to the upside. And now as previous low has been taken, that means breaker is activated now. This whole distribution move will be easier to catch, correct? So instead of taking distribution from all the way here to here, we are just anticipating price to take from this low after the market structure shift. We are anticipating price to go higher. So after the market structure shift, you are anticipating price for the buy side, not from here. Okay, so on this chart, what do you see? Accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution, right? But again, let's connect this and this. What do you have? These lows been taken out, so that means you have a breaker activated. What is the breaker that activated? See, this low has not taken this low, so this is not a breaker. What is the breaker? When this low got, this purge took these two low. So for this swing, what is the breaker? Here, the last up close candle, correct? This one. So now this is the breaker, and then what I said, we are not anticipating this red part, but we are anticipating after that red part. What is that? After a market structure shift, correct? So see, this is the market shift. So when this price closes above here, that means now you have a valid market structure shift and activated breaker, right? So what is the breaker doing here? This is gonna work as a catalyst to send price higher. That means if price comes back, this drop, you see, and then this second candle purged into a breaker, right? Now you have a breaker that got tapped into. Now the breaker should do what? Send price higher, right? As we are on a higher time frame, this is 1 hour, so we're gonna look the same things, right, on a repetitive way on lower time frames too, and then that will help you clarify. So now, if this is the breaker, you have the imbalance right here. You see this imbalance? Let me delete this, and just this is the manipulation move. So keep eye on that. Now you have fair value gap, okay, which is this, right? And you have a breaker. So what happened here? This imbalance is a BC. That means buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So if sell side comes in and that little tap to the breaker, as well as, you see that, what is there? Midline, right? It's a midpoint of this imbalance. You see how the body's staying above the midpoints. That means price is still willing to go higher. So then what happened? This breaker got the approval that, hey, with this BC, I'm sending price higher as I'm respecting the midpoint of BC, this buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, and the breaker itself is a catalyst to send price higher. So what you can expect? Price to fill up these gaps. Let me delete these. These gaps. And what supported that? This. And what is this? Smooth highs, right? So relative equal highs. And when you have relative equal highs, that means these highs have a stop loss sitting right over here, right over here, right over here. It's all the liquidity that still needs to be get purged, right? No, because of this already took these liquidity, okay? And then the candle came down, tapped the BC, supported with the breaker. Now when it's pushing higher, it's not limited to these liquidity, so you can target this gap, okay, at least a midpoint of this gap, okay, from this to this, okay. What is this? This is a new week opening gap, okay. This is a Friday candle, this is of Sunday 6 p.m. candle, so that means you have a new week opening gap, and this is the 50% midpoint. You can target that as a hanging fruit, not even this liquidity, because this liquidity got taken by this. If price is still willing to go high, that means it's not limited to this, but it's going for something else. What is that? The midpoint of new week opening gap, at minimum was the max all the way to the uppermost border of the gap. Okay, you can take exit right here. You can still look for these highs, which are relative equal highs, but if you have heavy positions here, you can cut on the half, cut on the outermost border of gap, new week opening gap, and then you can leave the runners for these relative equal highs. So what do you have here? Relative equal highs, okay, on a buy side. Also known as smooth highs, right, and a buy side. Okay, so relative equal highs, smooth highs, buy side is both the same thing. Okay, so we are targeting here, and then these are just for the runner. Okay, this is just for the runners. So again, this is on a high time frame, so you won't be taking this kind of trade, all right, for intraday. So but we're gonna look for the same repetitive way as we are studying the narration of the price action. That means it should be applied to the fractal timeframes as well, right? So we're gonna go through that, but here you saw on a high time frame. Okay, now we connected a breaker, okay, because of this purge, breaker activated, right? Same way as we talked before, that if previous lows got taken and then the activates breaker, and then we can take a breaker entry as we have market structure shift with the body. Okay, so just this, you are anticipating the same sequence, but by studying this portion, right, as you see here, we read this, so we're not guessing. Okay, we have this. What is this? Smooth highs, right? What do you have here? Smooth lows that got taken, purged. That means this is accumulation, this is manipulation. See how I'm connecting the things? So this is accumulation, this is manipulation. Now you're working on the distribution portion. What do you wait for? See here, after the purge, what do you wait for? Market structure shift through the breaker. So now we have the breaker, market structure shift with this body, right? What do you expect? The price come down to the breaker, or if you have a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, like here, the red box, this one, right? So this kind of is buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. When price comes down, respects through the midpoint, consequent encroachment, and body stays outside as body is telling his story, we can do the damage. So same here, and then this portion is a distribution portion, and this is the distribution portion. So why didn't we just look for these? Because this is already purged, so this high is not limited. Okay, so this candle has a potential to go higher than this because this has done already the work that it needs to be. So now what's the remaining portion? This gap, new week opening gap. What is the minimum? Midpoint, consequent encroachment of opening gap, and then you have the final exit on the top of the opening gap. Okay, and then these are for the runners, so not always. Okay, so these are for the runners, and you let that play by putting on the break even. So that's how you can anticipate price, as we have relative equal high here. All right, you can see here. So take a screenshot. Let me take and let me post this for the future studies. Now let's go through the mitigation block. Okay, let's see where's the mitigation block that we can see. All right. mm, right here. Okay, but we don't have the left that we are studying through, that is LR or HRLR. So there will be a different case to study on this, so I'm not going to talk on this. Okay, we're going to talk about this kind of structure because this portion, this section is different. This is not LR or HRLR. Okay, so we're going to study this kind of on a later on videos. So for now, let's look for this similar framework. Okay, right here. So what do we have here? You see, we have a nice LR. Let's right. We have LR. Now, as you see here, this has no purge, right? So this is what? This is now a mitigation block. Last up close candle, this is a mitigation block. And when this is not taken, see this low has not been taken by here, so this is the mitigation block. So market structure shift that will happen. See here, as we studied, if the market structure shift is happening through the mitigation block, and on your left you have LR. There is a chance to rip through because of this LR because it's on your left. But what is the key? The key is mitigation block, right? We have a mitigation block. That means you will not get a clear entry, right? This is not a supporting factor for the price to send price higher. Just this is here, which is supporting to price go higher to wreck all this liquidity that's sitting here, here, this, and this. Okay, so even with the market structure shift, you see how the down close candles came all the way down, even below the mitigation block, and disrespected, and some from this random price level it kicked off, right? So you could not have anticipated with this study, right? And even we have already studied that if we have LR, but you don't have a breaker, you have a mitigation block, there is a chance price can go higher, but this won't be clear. Okay, so what are we looking here? You see here, this low has not been taken. That means this is, oh sorry, this is now a mitigation block here, this one, because this could not send price lower than this, right? So it's sitting somewhere here. That means low has not been taken. This is a mitigation block. Even with the market structure shift now, even if the market structure shift happens, that will not be very strong bullish move. As you see, price can just break through the mitigation and do the damage, and then it might go up just because we have LR, right? So eventually price can go higher, but what's the key? It won't be clear. Okay, so if you want clear price action, what do you want? Every piece needs to be perfect, right? So here, what is missing? Maybe you are looking something else, right? The way of looking price may be different for you now. Let's change the few things, okay, over here. So let's suppose this is not the low, right? Because you could just have taken this as a low, which got taken here. But again, when this low got created, now what do you have? Now you have a new low, right? This is the low. and after this gets purged right here, you see this purge, that means you have a breaker activated here. So now you have a breaker. See how narration changed just because you took this low, and then see how price purged. Now that means, okay, the low has been taken. Now you have breaker activated. Now if price gives you shift, breaker should hold the price, right? See, shift with the body came down but could not respect this breaker, flushed all the way here. Wick did extra move, went up. So even with the LR, if you had changed this narration with this as taking this as a low, swept, breaker, market structure shift, could not hold, and then boom. So what is the key that needs to be noticed here? Take a pause, okay, and think about it. What is the pieces that might you be missing? Okay, and that's how it's not working. Or is it not really working? See, you can change a narration, right? So take a pause, give yourself 1 minute, okay, and think what how should this price can be anticipated. Okay, I hope you did your portion. If not, then again, go back, please, take a pause and think about it. Okay, now let's see. Low resistance liquidity run. If there's the low, purge, breaker activated, you could have taken. But see, when I said breaker, is this the breaker? Is just this a breaker? This green candle? No, this whole portion is a breaker. This candle, this candle, this candle. So we're just taking the body to body. Okay, if there is a series of up close candle, series, okay, there should not be another white candle, okay, not any down close candle, it's all up close candle. So this up close candle is now a breaker, this all three. Okay, so when price gives you market structure shift, this whole breaker can have a pushing power anywhere through the midpoint, through the bottom most outer body, or this top body. So when market structure shift happened, price came lower. You see in the midpoint, but you didn't see any reaction, right? Another candle came all the way here. This candle broke the lowest low of the breaker, right? So when this happens, what is the only thing that you should be looking at here? Look at here. When this happened, when this breaker, the lowest low, got broken here, this week, what did this week do? You see this week? What does this do? It's it's going for the another inside breaker. If this is the low, this is the purge. Where's the breaker? This up close candle. If this is the low, It's got taken. We saw the move. Now what do you have here? You have market structure shift here. Okay, where? On this candle. This is the market structure shift. Okay, again, low, lower low, breaker activated, body went above this short-term high. That means you have a market structure shift. If price comes down, this is the breaker that should be supporting price to send higher. See this candle came here, wigged here, and then what happened? Went all the way above. Okay, and then this created this market structure shift. Okay, and then again you have its own breaker, but when this came here, this the body coming outside the lower low of this breaker, that means this can go all the way to this breaker. Okay, but what is the key? This midpoint. This midpoint should be held with the body above. Okay, body cannot come down and close below the mean threat consecutive encroachment. And then that's how you can take this. So you have to be very precisely narrating things, otherwise you can mess up things. Okay, so this bracket is LRLR, nice breaker because of this purge right here, came down low, again went up, lower low, breaker activated. See here the market structure shift has not been done, so still you can anticipate here with another narration. Okay, low, high, lower low, breaker activated, market structure shift, price goes above. By how? This candle to the breaker, this candle wicks to the consequent encroachment mean threshold of this breaker, then goes above, does a market structure shift for this, and then comes down, body coming outside the lower low of this breaker, can have a potential entry to this breaker. Was the key footprint, just wicking, body staying above, so that you can say, okay, price is still bullish, you can anticipate this price. Okay, so on this one, for this, if this is the LRLR, and if you do not have, you see how price has equal highs over here, but still could not reach over there and then broke down. See that move? So even with the equal highs above here, these two candles, price could not reach up to there. So what is the case here? Even with the LRLR, that's the key, right? You have to notice, like, even with the LRLR, it's not going above this equal highs, which is very clear. You see this consolidation? This consolidation is the key that price was very smoothly trapped from this price range to this price range. Okay, so when you see this kind of price movement, okay, that means price might just willing to go to this body. Okay, why? Wick is doing its thing. Okay, this wick is higher, this is somewhere here, this is somewhere here, and this is somewhere here. But what is staying very stable? This body right here, right here, right here, right, very close. So you can just be targeting this. Okay, this is this body. I'm not even talking about the wicks. Okay, this is the perfect, because this was the price that was sending price lower. Tried to go above, you can send lower, and finally it went all the way down. So this is the signature of resistance. Okay, this is the real signature. So even with LRLR, you want to target these. Even with the equal highs, if something else more precisely shown to you, okay, then you're gonna anticipate that as a target. Let's go to lower time frame. These, you see these? This is LRLR. So when you see LRLR, you will be waiting, okay? You will be waiting for a manipulation, because this is accumulation, right? So if this whole portion is accumulation on a trend line move, it's accumulation, okay? So if you see such, you want a manipulation, okay? What is the manipulation right here? This little portion, right? So you have LRR on the left. What happened? This here, the breaker, gave you this move and took previous high. That means you have a breaker, right? So if you have a breaker, this down close, the final down close candle, okay? You have LRLR, breaker, right here, market structure shift. What you didn't get, a revisit to the breaker and then push lower. You didn't get that, right? So you could have just missed this opportunity. Even with this LRLR breaker triggered with this purge, now you have breaker, market structure shift. Just because of this non-revisit behavior, you could not have anticipated this. It's okay if you don't get this kind of opportunity to take trade on. It's fine, but I'll give you one more thing to take away from this, okay? And you will be anticipating that on your price. So when there is a breaker and you see how this wick try to go below, right? There's a wick but could not, and came above, and now went above here to this imbalance. It came all the way down. You have imbalance over here, right? You see this low, this high, and this triggered as a breakaway gap. Price never visited this. What is the reason that caused this as a breakaway gap? This week, okay? What is that? Because you have this immediate rebalance. When you see immediate rebalance, okay, that means with this week, yes, perfect. But what happened? This week came more below than this imbalance. So now instead of price going all the way to this week, price can just repel away from this week. Okay, so this is immediate rebalance, making this as a breakaway gap, close all the way down. That means that's a trigger. Immediate rebalance triggered. This price came above here, okay, this price right here, another breakaway gap, price went even lower. Now this is order block. See how price came tapped in the order block. Again, repel, breakaway gap, breakaway gap. This imbalance got partially filled, then again broke down, broke down, broke down. So this image rebalance is the catalyst to send price like this. Okay, the breakaway gaps. So breakaway gap, immediate rebalance triggers more breakaway gaps. Why? Because price is now willing to come above. Okay, price is now willing to come above. It's in a rush, in a hurry. So it's what it's doing. Why? We have high resistance liquidity run. We have smooth lows, right? So this is accumulation. This is manipulation. This is distribution. So we are connecting everything. So this is accumulation of a trend line. Okay, not just a straightforward trend line. It is not. Okay, this one is trendy. That means it's moving to the upside, but in a slow pace. That's just working as accumulation. Okay, so study all these and then try to connect everything. Okay, and that's how you can not just work as a pattern, but you can narrate the whole structure, whole price runs, price actions. So I hope this helped you, and we're gonna talk about more in depth, more precision, and let me know in my comment how was it. Maybe if you have questions, let me know. I'll try to answer. And welcome to the Discord. Free chat is open. Send your screenshots, your trades, your on back testing. Then let me know. We can have chat. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.